The opinions and views expressed in the following program are those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and Your Sports Network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? But can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow the road. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
Anthony Hartwig here with a Ursuline Boys Basketball Coach's Corner with Keith Gunther. Coach, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Oh, thanks for having me. Sorry, I had to switch it up on short notice here. Doing the work day, and just looking forward to hoops here real quick, and just glad I could join you guys today.
Be quick. We're all good. Let's start with just kind of a recap of last year, things that you can take from last year into this year. I know you guys had an incredible season in 2022, 2023.
We had a great regular season. Probably I think we were the best in school history as far as regular season goes. But we did not get where we wanted to as far as the tournament. We made it to the district final and lost to a really good Gilmore team, which they had been to Columbus the year before. But we felt like we dropped the ball with that game. We felt like we could have went a step or two further. And, for us, it was not where we wanted to get to, which is hopefully going to inspire our guys that are coming back for this year.
When you're coming off a season like that, where you have like you said, a tremendous regular season, but tournament, you fall a little bit short. What's the message this year of obviously trying to replicate the regular season, but not letting it end as early as it did last year?
Well, I'll be honest with you. The schedule we have, the regular season won't be the same. We've really beefed up our schedule. And that's one of the issues. I think our schedule just didn't take strong enough for us to be able to compete at that district final level. That team was really good. It played a lot of Columbus teams. They had played a lot of Cleveland teams. And when we got to that point, we were just I don't think we were ready like we could have been or should have been prepared for that. And that's a coach's issue there. We should have had our guys better prepared. But this year we feel like with our schedule we have, with the guys we got coming back and some of the young guys we have, that we can take that next step that we didn't take last year.
With the football team unfortunately falling on Friday night, you're about to get all your guys into the gym, and the guys that also play football are about to trickle in. So what are kind of the goals here in the next couple of weeks before the first game actually tips off? What's on your coach's checklist?
Honestly, we feel like we probably have, coming from football, we have a lot of freshman guys that'll be on the freshman team, a lot of JV guys, but we probably only have right now probably one varsity guy coming from football. So we're pretty much about 95% full strength of what we'll be all year. So fortunately for us, that we're in that position where we didn't have a lot of guys that played football. We're pretty much full strength. The one guy that we're counting on to come from football is quite a name in the area right now, is Devontae Taylor, and we just feel like, with the 8 or 9 guys we have already, that he could be a major contributor to the guys we already have. So we feel like we should be rolling right off the gate. We shouldn't have to wait. Usually when our football team goes deep into the playoffs, we're usually like thinking, okay, it's going to take us 4 or 5 weeks to get our fill. Unfortunately for us as a basketball team, we just didn't have a lot of guys that played football. So we feel like from day one that we should have our basketball fill. We just got to get Taylor involved, get him to understand, he's coming from a different school. He's never played for me. Understand, how we play, the expectations of our basketball program. Obviously, he got that during football. They had a great season, a great winning season. Probably not as far as like Coach Reardon wanted to go. But, once again, that's what we all do this for. But we don't do it because, we expect to win every year. We're coming to battle and coming to, so there's going to be some years where you don't win, but what can you do as a coach to get it back and then take that next step like we're planning on this year?
Coach, let's go through that roster and meet those guys. I want to have like a meet the team segment where we go through all the big names that are going to contribute to Urson basketball this year.
So our main contributors of three guys that are returning. We have Jaden Payne, who's our big guy down low. We have Gino Lucini, who's our third leading scorer last year. We have Deshaun Will, was like our second leading scorer in that realm. So those are the three guys that are coming back, and they're really, really good guys that are coming. Then we have Miles Miller, who's a sophomore. We have Jared Kluznik, Coach Kluznik's son that was at South Range, who transferred in. And then most everybody knows we have three really, really, really good freshmen. Two have already been offered by Division I schools. One's going to be a collegiate basketball player too. So, those three young guys are really, really, really good. One of them just happens to be my son. The other one's James Ricardo and Noah Bell. So, with those guys and with the guys we have coming back, we feel like, once we start learning and take a few bumps here and there, those freshmen learning how to play with the upperclassmen, we have a chance to be really good.
All right, you already alluded to how much your schedule was beefed up this year, which is scary because Urson usually has one of the tougher schedules in the area anyway. Let's bring up your schedule and the teams that you're obviously excited to play this year.
So our first two games are we're playing St. Joe's out of Buffalo. Then we play Devon Prep out of Philadelphia. Then we have Canfield. Then we go Harding. Then we go East. Then we go St. V. We have Massillon. We have state champs Akron Hoban on the schedule. So we've really, really, we took it to another level. Last year's schedule was good, but we took it to a level where we feel like, we need to be in some nip and tuck battle, where we're getting punched in the mouth a little bit and see if we can punch back. Those are the type of games we want to schedule for this year.
And then obviously there's Steel Valley Conference games pop up on your schedule, Mooney East and Cheney. And I know it's a small conference, but it's a good one.
It's a brutal one this year. Mooney's gonna be good. Mooney's got everybody back. East, if you don't know, East has some guys that are gonna be really good. East has some really, really good returning guys. I think they feel like they can make a push for the league. I know Kerry feels like they can push for the league. We're the defending champs. We feel like we can win the league. So, it's gonna be a tough conference this year, and it's gonna be a battle, which is the way we like it. I'll be honest with you. This is probably the first year in a long time I feel like basketball is gonna be really strong in our area. Canfield's gonna be really good. We're gonna be good. I mean, it's gonna be great for the Mahoning Valley that basketball is back with a lot of strong teams.
You alluded to it earlier. You have a couple of really awesome freshmen. You have a couple of players that are coming from different schools that have to be introduced to your style of coaching. What do you do with those freshmen and with those kids that are coming in? How do you introduce yourself and your philosophy to them? What are some of your ways of getting them ingrained into how you want to play basketball?
So the freshmen, they've been with us since the summer. Like I said, one of them is my kid, so he gets it. He understands. Jace Ricardo is coming in. He's 6'5", 6'6". Noah Bell is coming in. Those guys have already adapted to how we play. Like I said, Jared Kluznik, he's already adapted. The one guy who just hasn't had a feel for me or for the program is Devontae Taylor. Other than that, our guys have already bought in. They understand the expectations. They understand how hard we play. They understand that I'm not going to be like the rub your back kind of coach. I'm still old school. and our expectations are high, and we expect our kids to play every night hard, for their school, for their community. We expect great things, and expectations are high, and that doesn't change because we have three freshmen. That doesn't change one bit. Matter of fact, we probably are trying to raise the bar because those three freshmen and that sophomore, a couple other guys are really talented.
Your offense gets a lot of publicity. You guys can score. You have a lot of talent on the team, but I know you love defense. I know you have defense as the backbone of this program. How good can your defense be this year, Coach?
Actually, we can be really, really good. We've shown that in our scrimmages so far. We can really get after it. We can get up. We can pressure. And the one thing you said, that's the focal point of our program is defense. Yes, we can score the ball, but when you get stops first, then it makes it a lot easier for your offense to be able to get easy transition buckets or wide open shots. And we will play 9 or 10 guys, so we're going to press. We're going to get it up and down. And, that's the style we're going to play because that's the team we have. I usually coach according to the personnel. And with the personnel we have this year, we're going to do a lot of running and pressing and getting after people.
When you look at your team and the roster, and obviously you've been able to have them together for a little bit now, if you had to pinpoint maybe one strength that you anticipate this team having, like one really big strength of the team, what would you kind of think it is right now?
Man-to-man pressure, and we can shoot the ball. We got some guys that can really shoot the ball. We got some guys that can score the ball. And then we have a dominant post player in Jaden Payne. Jaden's big, strong. He's probably the biggest guy in the area right now. So we have a little bit of everything. I don't know that we have a real weak area right now. We just don't. We got guys that can pass. We got guys that can shoot. We got guys that can defend. And then we have guys that can, that can bang in the post. We got some athleticism. We have size. It's scary. We have a little bit of everything. The only thing that of course we're missing is some of the younger guys, just the experience part of it.
You just answered my next. I was going to ask you about the things that you want to work on this year, but like you just said, there's not a lot of holes in this roster right now. If you had to pick on one thing, you just think that maybe it's every team, no matter how talented they are, that you want to work on throughout the year, and you want to see them continuously get better at. What do you think it is?
Camaraderie, because the new guys, they're just new, so they need to understand the camaraderie, and then be able to handle the games when it's nip and tuck, and we're playing like a St. V, or we're playing one of these bigger schools. That's going to be our main focus, is to get these guys to understand how they have to play, the competitiveness they need to play with every night. And sometimes that's hard for young guys because they have to be able to do it every night. Not, on our schedule, there's no like some games we can pencil in there and say, all right, we'll be able to relax a little bit tonight. That's just, we just don't have games like that on our schedule. So getting kids to be able to play every night, focus every night, and that's going to be one of our biggest things.
Coach, I want to give you the chance to also highlight your staff. We do this for every coach. You have a great staff behind you. We know you get the interviews and you kind of get the attention per se, but yeah, great people that are working with you, making this program what it is. Highlight your staff for us and tell us who you have working with you.
So right now we have Rob Malkovich, has been with me the last 5 years. We have Joe Ragazine. He's been our second or third year. And then we have Brandon Perkins, and that's our staff this year. We have one guy, his wife got pregnant, so she kind of put the kibosh on him coaching for this. So George Williams, but I know he's there in spirit, would love to be with us. So, hopefully we'll get him back here in the next couple years after the baby gets a little bit older. George,
well, congratulations on being a father, man. I know you're probably watching this, but sometimes life gets in the way of basketball, right?
It does, and that's sometimes the kids take focus more so than basketball as they should.
Coach, one last question we have for you. We've been asking every coach that this year is kind of our theme of these season previews, and it goes back to the love of basketball. We have it because we broadcast it every night. You obviously have it because you've been coaching for so long, and and the players that you play for you have it because they're putting the time in for you. So where did your love of the game come from? Where are your kind of earliest memories of falling in love with the sport of basketball?
Oh, just because I played for so long and for so many years, I've always loved the game, and it's always been a major part of my life. I mean, I tell my guys now, I don't remember a time where it wasn't important to me. From like sixth grade all the way through, I played collegiately at Ashland University, coached at LeBray in junior high, and I've been fortunate. This is my first head coaching job, and I've been able to be at this place for 20 years. So that's unheard of nowadays. That a coach is at the same place for 20 plus years. This is year 21. So I'm just super excited. And I'll be honest with you, I get I've been watching my kid play for since he was in diapers, and for me to get to coach with him, that's a fun task for me. That'll make it fun. I'll be honest with you, if my kid wasn't playing, I probably would have went and watched him. If he wasn't coming to Ursuline, I'd probably resigned and went and watched him play somewhere else.
Coach, let me ask you real quick. If we went back to year 1 of your coaching career, back when you first took the job at Ursuline and told you were going to be there for 20 years.
No way in a million years I would have thought that. No way. Nope. But I'm a true believer in fate, and things happen for a reason. I'm very fortunate that I got to stay there. I think part of it is it was a plan for me to be able to be with my son and coach him. And, I think it's just going to be a great experience for both of us.
Coach, we love that you're here too. We love that we get to cover you. We get to talk to you every season. We appreciate the time. We look forward to the year. We wish you the best of luck.
Oh, right.
We can't wait to talk to you in real soon. Edmund joins us. Coach, how are we doing today?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Doing really good, Coach. Really ready for basketball, as I know you are too. You've had your guys for a little bit now. First question for you is, what are some things that you're seeing that you're really liking out of your squad so far this year?
I'm loving how hard we're working so far, man. We've been going at it, like you said, now about 3 weeks, and we've had maximum effort every day. We've been in the gym, and it's been great to see, and it really kind of gives me some really positive outlook for what's to come.
I was at your senior night last year, and I think you might have had the most seniors of any team we've covered at Ysn. I mean, the senior night went so long because you guys had so many good leaders and great seniors that went on and are doing great things now. A lot of them playing college sport, whether it be baseball, football, or basketball. What's it mean to you to see the ripple effects of those seniors and to see new guys stepping up now based on what they taught what last year's leaders taught them last season?
It's been really exciting. I mean, that, like you said, that group of seniors a year ago, I think there was 8 or 9 of them. So it was awesome. And I got to grow right along those kids. I coached those kids since they were in 8th grade. And to see how, for them to know the style of practice I like to have and the style I like to coach at, for them to pass it along, it's been great. Our senior leaders this year are taking it right in stride. And I don't even really feel like we've had a real knockoff in leadership. We've just had new guys step up and continue on. And it's been really great to see.
I imagine a lot of new faces that we have to get to know on the varsity floor. So I'm going to have you meet the team night and kind of show us who the teams are and who the roster's on, who's on the roster, who we should look out for when we head out to Champion this year.
Yeah, we're actually going to have 2 sophomores that are going to play quite a bit of varsity time, and Marky Nolan and Braylon Bram. And then I've got 2 returning somewhat varsity players in my juniors, and Christian Williams and Kelly Gray. And then my returning letter winners from a year ago, Jake Andrietta. And then I've actually got 2 other seniors that are coming off of serious injury from a year ago, Ian Orwig and Andrew Skebe, that are coming back too. So it'll be an exciting group for sure. And we're excited to get everyone healthy and everyone playing together.
That's definitely exciting, Coach. Your league is exciting. We just talked to Coach Oleski about, a half an hour ago. He talked about how good this MVAC is. You know it just as well as he does. Talk about this conference, what it's like playing in it, and what you expect out of it this year.
The one thing about our conference is every night's a battle. It doesn't matter where you're at, or if we're at Champion or we're on the road, you're going to get a fight. Everybody is tough. Everybody's well coached. Everybody has skill. Everybody has talent. And there's no easy games when you look at the schedule when you're playing in the MVAC. Everything is going to be, you're going to tough out wins. I don't think anyone's really going to blow people out. I think we're all going to be competing and fighting against each other. And it's probably going to be one of the more competitive, if not the most competitive leagues probably in our valley here.
Coach, when you talk about going outside of that MVAC, it's already tough enough playing inside the MVAC, but you go out of it and test yourself. Who are some teams that pop up outside of the conference that you're really excited about?
So we always play Bristol right around Christmas time, which is outside, and that's always a fun game. You always get a lot of people in the gym around the holidays, and what Craig does over at Bristol is an amazing program, and so it's always fun and an exciting game there. And then we also travel up to PV this year, and what they're doing up there is pretty amazing with the kids they have and the skill and the talent, and that'll be a really tough game too.
I believe that's who you actually had in senior night last night, if I recall, doing your senior night against Pymatuning Valley. So good to see you go up there as well. That's a tough team, like you said. Coach, you have a couple of weeks before the season starts. What's on your coach's checklist of things you want to see happen in scrimmages and practices before game one?
The real big thing we've checked off a lot of the boxes. We've got the offense installed, we've got our defense installed how we want. Now we're just trying to get all those things fine-tuned and really try to hone in on our mental toughness. The style of basketball we're hoping to play, our kids have got to be mentally tough, and they all have the ability to do it. We're just still growing a little bit in that department and trying to get all 10, 12, really even 23 guys that are in the gym to get a level of mental toughness that we need to succeed.
Have you been able to key in on things that you think, okay, this team is going to be really good at X, Y, Z, and things that you can say might be strengths of your team this year?
In our opening scrimmages, I've been really impressed with the speed of our guys and their level of conditioning, how quick we're able to get the ball up the floor and get into our offense and get moving. And for being somewhat undersized, they've rebounded really well. All 5 guys are attacking the glass, and I've been really pleased to see that.
Coach, I know you've also put together a really good staff. Would we be remiss if we did not ask you to highlight them in this interview? I want you to take the time to talk about the people you're working with and the people that are helping you make this champion program what it is.
Yeah, I'll start at the top. Even with our booster president, Ken Haney, he does a phenomenal job of making my life easier and making sure that these kids they get gear every year, and the stuff that the boosters provide is amazing. And my athletic director is a phenomenal guy too, Tim Cope. I'll give him a huge shout out. He's right there with any questions. He's always got everything in line, under control. It's really a great environment to work in. And then my staff, my actual basketball staff, is brand new this year. I've got my JV coach, Michael Thompson. He's a veteran coach, and he brings quite a lot of experience. And then I've got my freshman coach is Jim Smith. He's a local champion guy, and he's been able to have ties with a lot of these kids for many years, which has been a great thing to see. And then my varsity assistant is Coach Robbins, and he's a baseball coach at Champion as well, so he already has a background with the kids, and his insight into the game has been great too. So we're really excited. We've got a great group from the top all the way down.
Brand new staff. What's that been like this year to just kind of work with new people, get to know some new people, and even further expand your basketball knowledge, getting it from different minds?
It was a little bit of a challenge at first because I had kept the same staff my first 2 years coaching together, and one of those coaches I've played basketball with my entire life, so being able to bounce things off him was really easy. But this new staff, kind of learning how to communicate and learning how what their strengths and weaknesses are and how they can help contribute to the overall program. It's been really exciting to see. And like every player has their own role, each one of our coaches has their own specialty and their own role, and being able to embrace that's been really awesome so far.
Coach, one of the things that we're asking all of our coaches this year in our season previews, it's kind of the theme of it, is just about the love of the sport of basketball. We love it. We broadcast it. You love it because you're on the coaching bench, and obviously your players are putting the time into the sport because they love it. When did your love of basketball start? When do you kind of see yourself falling in love with the sport?
Well, I think it probably started out the same time it does for most of us. When you're a young kid and you're first given that little size basketball, the one that's just about as big as your hand. And just the thrill of, you make your first shot, you hear the net sound, you see the ball go through the hoop. And then you get in elementary school and you get to do some camps and stuff like that. When we all would scream and jump around because we got to scrimmage at the end of it, and just little things like that just were the basic foundation of where I fell in love with the game. And then, as I've aged, my playing days behind me now, seeing these kids fall in love with the game and enjoy themselves and watch them grow, not only in the game, but as men, has just strengthened the love I have for the game even more. The true power in basketball, with these kids stretches far beyond just the gym floor.
You're right, Coach. I don't think anything took as seriously as a little kid in the basement or in the living room with the Fisher-Price hoop and the little kid
There you
size
go.
ball. Those games went hard. Coach, we want to wish you the best of luck this year. We're rooting for champion. We can't wait to get out there and cover you guys. Give the community a little bit of a preview. When's your first game?
So we open up on December 2nd. That's our opener. We play Niles that night. It should be a really tough contest. They've got a new coach down there, I believe, and it'll be exciting to see kind of where we stack up.
You heard, Coach. Get out there on December 2nd. Support your Flashes. And we can't wait to be out there with you guys, covering you guys all season. Wish you the best of luck, Coach, and we can't wait to talk to you again real soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate all you all do for these kids.
You got it. We'll see you soon, Coach.
Take care.
21 News delivers the news as it happens, using the latest technology from where it happens.
Live here outside the Mahoney County.
On air, online,
Wednesday afternoon weather update.
Very dangerous.
and on the 21 News social media platforms.
I'm on the road right now.
21 News, the Valley's only locally owned source for trusted news since 1953.
Craftsmanship to us is 60 years of pride and dedication.
Passed down from generation to generation.
The hardwood floors that your kids take their first steps on.
The solid wood doors you quietly close at night.
The things we create day in and day out are the products that end up turning your house into a home.
At Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods, uncompromising quality and craftsmanship built our business.
And it will keep us moving forward for generations to come.
Going the extra mile at Greenwood Chevrolet means we want to take care of the community that takes care of us too.
And we have to work together always. And that's how you stay in business for 40 years.
You know, I love being a helper because when I help somebody, it makes me feel good.
It means a lot that I can make a difference in others' lives.
So I will do everything I can and just being there for them every step of the way.
I want them to know within the first 5 minutes that they could depend on me. That's what going the extra mile means, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Before the lights come on, before the workday begins, before a long day is ended, or it's time to have fun. It all starts with the people at Joe Dickey Electric. From replacing a light fixture in your home to building a substation for your business, no job is too big or too small. The people of Joe Dickey Electric power them all. Joe Dickey Electric, over 60 years of powering the Mahoning Valley.
As Comco celebrated 70 years in 2022, we have much to be thankful for. We are proud of the Comco culture as we serve our customers with Comco Care with our premier customer service, quality parts, and on-time delivery. The partnerships we have with our customers and our community are second to none. We thank you for your continued support. We are proud to be part of this community and will continue to offer great jobs for great people.
Change. This one word can make you break out in a cold sweat. But with change comes wisdom, experience, and understanding. At Myers Family Insurance, we can help make changes in Medicare, insurance, and retirement a positive experience for you and your family. We've gone through changes, like our new office and new faces to help our family of clients too.
For all your Medicare needs, call Myers Family Insurance. Check us out online at myersfamilyins.com or find us on Facebook.
Your culinary adventure awaits at Legends Food and Drink. Experience a welcoming ambiance while you explore our appetizing menu featuring over 20 meals under $20 and over 30 lunches for $12 or less. Our private dining room seats between 10 and 20 at no additional cost. And don't forget our spacious 35-seat bar for your favorite sporting event. Book your special occasion in our elegant banquet room that seats up to 150 comfortably. Legends Food and Drink, a taste you'll remember. Market Street and Route 224 in Boardman.
And welcome into a Monday episode of Running Point. Apologize for the way this episode started. I'll be honest, we had some technical issues in the front, and they popped up like literally at 1 o'clock. So just to fix them real quick, I had to throw up a couple of interviews, pre-recorded obviously, and just kind of throw them up there while I got those fixed. But they are fixed, and we are good to go here on a Monday episode of Running Point. So I'm Anthony Hartwig. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, Running Point is brought to you by our good friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. I'm going to go ahead and put them up in the top right-hand corner of the screen so you know where to go if you're in the market for a newer used vehicle. Make sure to check out Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. They go the extra mile for you so you don't have to. There they are right there. And we thank them for their constant support of this show. They've been here since day one of Running Point, and a lot of twists and turns, as I've said before, of this show. It looks a lot different the way it started, and they've never lost faith in what we can be and what we're doing. So we thank Greenwood Chevrolet for their constant sponsorship and support of this show. We have a lot to get to, and now a little bit of time to do it because of those glitches we had to the start. So let's hop into the scoreboard on ysnlive.com, which is always presented by Burnett Pools, Spas, and Hot Tubs. We'll go back all the way to Wednesday since we haven't had a show since Wednesday. We hope you all enjoyed your Thanksgiving break like I surely did. And now we're back. So since Wednesday, we've had a lot happen on the YSN scoreboard. Once again, presented by Burnett Pools, Spas, and Hot Tubs. We'll start with girls basketball on Wednesday. We'll just go through the scores here, and I'll talk a little bit about the games that I was at. Brookfield fell to Lakeview. Final score there was 48-27. Ursuline got a big, strong first win over Canton Central Catholic. Defensively strong, 33-28. Garfield fell on a heartbreaker to Crestwood, 47-44. We'll do the first three rows. We'll scroll over to the last one eventually. Salem fell to Howland, 71-60. Springfield got the win over Hubbard, 52-43. Canfield dominated Struthers on the road. Final score there was 65-16. Lowville fell to Bristol by a score of 41-25. Newton Falls fell to Ravenna by 3, 42-39. Warren JFK shot the lights out in Matthews, 74-14, the final score there. And then as we scroll over to the final row, we see that McDonald was able to beat Latonia 52-17. Heartland Christian, they fell to LeBray 64-39. And Louisville beat Austintown Fitch on Wednesday 67-33. Some takeaways from this day of basketball, which was opening day for the whole state. This was the first day girls basketball could be held as an OHSA sanctioned game. And one takeaway was the game I was at, Springfield and Hubbard. They fought tooth and nail all game. This game ended as a 9-point win, but it was a lot closer than that. Tied at the half, tied after 3. Springfield just opened the fourth quarter on, I believe, a 10-0 run to kind of put that game away. But for the most part, other than the start of the fourth quarter, played very evenly. The difference maker was Jamaica Brungard down low, unstoppable. No matchup there for Hubbard. They didn't have anyone that could really stop her. Once she caught it on the block, it was pretty much a guaranteed basket. She scored 27 and also had 11 rebounds for double-double. So a great day for Brungard, and she's going to be a matchup problem all season long. You know, once she catches the ball down low, she has so many post moves that she can go to just take advantage of positioning. She's really smart with the ball. I think if she gets consistently a little mid-range jumper, then she goes into that category of nearly unguardable when she's got the shots falling. Man, that's tough. That's tough to guard. Hubbard put up a heck of a fight, though. This is a team that was 4-17 last year, going up against a team that went to state last year. So 2 teams that went dramatically different in 2023, and you wouldn't tell. You couldn't tell by the way those 2 teams played each other this season. Hubbard fought really hard. I was impressed by their balance. They didn't have one offensive player that was going off and scoring a bunch of points. I mean, they had a lot of different players with 7, 8. The player that really caught my eye, that was really playing well and doing it in ways that are under the radar with assists and steals and great defensive stands, was Julian Palumbo. I really liked the way that she was playing basketball. She started the first half with 5 points, 5 assists. So she was responsible for, double-figure points at the end of the first half. So you look at that, I think that Hubbard's going to be a lot better this year than they were last year, and they're going to have a lot more than 4 wins. I'll tell you that much. Howland and Salem was also a stick out for this one, because usually first game of the year, maybe offenses struggle a little bit trying to find a rhythm, but no, this one had 2 big performances on both sides of the game. Salem's Riley Hutton scored a so far season high on YSN, 34 points. And then Alyssa Masucci dropped 26 for Howland, 71-60. What an offensive show put on by the Quakers and Tigers. That's not what I expected at all, because the Quakers are known for defense. And I thought, well, they're going to probably struggle a little bit scoring this year because they lost so much scoring from a year ago. They'll probably really rely on that defense. But here they are, 71 points scored by Howland. You'd probably have to go back pretty far for the last time anyone scored more than 60 on Salem. Their defense has been so locked down the last 3 or 4 years. But Howland was up for the task. Alyssa Masucci had a great day. Barish had a great day. You had Gianna Husso have a great day. So you had a lot of offense for Howland, and then Salem was right up for the task. They scored with them. What a good offensive day for both those teams. Obviously, Thursday was Thanksgiving. No scores there, so we'll pop right on to Friday real quick. And obviously, the headline Friday was, we still have football going on because Archbishop Homan punches their ticket to the state championship game with a comeback victory over Avon, 17-14. Hoban scored the last 14 points of the game after falling behind 14-3, and they refused to be denied a spot in Canton, 17-14. I've been saying it all season. This Hoban team looks hungry, focused, locked in for a state championship. They're one of those teams that they got there last year. They fell just short, and they probably felt like it was very correctable on them that they fell in that game. A couple of late turnovers turned the tide. So Hoban came into this season knowing, like, hey, it's all on us. We can do this. Let's get that taste out of our mouths. Let's go all the way back to the state championship game. And they'll match up with a really, really good Massillon Washington team who we have seen a couple of times on the YSN network already this year. We know how good they're playing football. But Hoban looks like a team that is just a team of destiny. They were down and out. Like, pack your bags, you're going home, 14-3 late in the game. They find a way. 17-14. They beat Avon. This was the fourth consecutive playoff victory over the Eagles. So a big win for the Knights against a familiar playoff foe in Avon, and it's another win for Hoban as they'll march into Canton on Thursday. I believe that game's going to be on Thursday for the state championship once again against Madison, Washington. Ty Bartel will be on the call there. It will be audio only because Spectrum will have the video rights for the state championship game. So like it has been for the last 3 rounds of football, audio only, but free for our fans at YSN. We also had girls basketball on Friday as Fitch bounced back with a home win over Hudson, a very dominant home win, 47-30. This is a Hudson Explorers team that knocked out Louisville a couple of years ago and then had another big upset in the tournament last year. So it's a Hudson team that knows how to win games. This is not a pushover Explorers team. Fitch with a lot of early offense to set the tone, and they ran away with this one. Good, strong showing by the Falcons. They're down a little bit, couple injuries, and it doesn't matter so far. They're 1-1 on the year. Lakeview, after winning on Wednesday, fell to Champion 54-26. Champion had 2 players with 15 or more points in Bella Meyer and Kennedy Caldwell. Meyer had 16, Caldwell had 15. So that's a big reason why they were able to run away with a win. West Branch picked up where they ended last year with a lot of momentum, and they win 51-24 over Cardinal Mooney. We had Western Reserve fall to a big D1 powerhouse. This is props to the Blue Devils for really going up in a division, playing Newark, 53-33 the final score there. The Blue Devils fall in the first game of the season. We go over to the last column. Edgewood was able to beat Grand Valley 67-48, the final score there. Katie McAllister looked as good as she was going to look, and she had 14, but the secondary scorers for Edgewood, there were a lot of question marks about for the Warriors this year. How would these players handle having to score? Because last year it was pretty much Casey Kanicki and Katie McAllister, and that was, I would say, at least 89-90% of their scoring last year, and they had girls step up. Leah Guyton also scored 14 with McAllister. You had Avery Vinsel play really well. McKenna Vinsel scored 9, I believe. You had a lot of players chip into this offense. So Edgewood, Faith Vinsel had a good first day as a freshman too. So Edgewood really looking good, really looking like they're going to be a balanced offense, hard to contend with. I think when I'm looking at their conference, the one team that's really going to stand in their way probably is Madison. Madison's a very good girls basketball team in that side of the CVC for the first time this year, and Edgewood's going to have to deal with them. So, we'll see what that matchup has in store down the road. But I'm very impressed with the Warriors to start the season. I was down in Grand Valley for this one. It got kind of close in the second half after Edgewood was dominant in the first half. Grand Valley cut it to 6 on 2 separate occasions, but end of the day, Edgewood just too good. They bounced back from both those runs, and they were able to win pretty handedly, 67-48. So those are your basketball scores for the weekend. I believe we had one game on Saturday. I think Western Reserve played again, and they fell again, but they played 2 big Division I teams. It wasn't on our scoreboard because it wasn't on our schedule because they were away. But a great weekend of basketball, and now as we start today, I think after today, almost everyone in the YSN family will officially be underway. As now basketball really kicks into high gear. You have girls basketball all week on the network, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday is the tip-off for boys basketball. So last week, we kind of got some appetizers. You got some teams starting their season a little bit early, but this week, it's hitting the ground running. It's games everywhere, and we will definitely pop into today's scoreboard now as we transition from the recap portion of the show to the preview portion of the show. Let's go to November 27th, which is today, Monday, November 27th, 2023. And my computer was a little bit laggy, So I apologize there. I was like, wait a minute, there's no scoreboard there. Here we go. Here are the games that are happening tonight. Going to be a fun one. We'll go over the games, then we'll preview them, then we'll shout out the announcers that are going to be there. Alliance traveling to Canfield tonight. You have Crestview going to Springfield. East Liverpool traveling to Southern Local. Girard going to La Brea. You have Jefferson hosting Lakeview in an old NE8 matchup. Old ITCL matchup is United plays South Range. I'll tell you what, well, this one I'm going to stop because this one is a little bit nostalgic for me. Because when I was in high school, this was the rivalry. This was the game that the conference always came down to. This was the game that you got up for if you were a girls basketball fan in South Range or United. I remember, playing them in the for the ITCO championship in one of the last games of the year, my freshman year, and it was just a thriller. And the Raiders won in the old South Range gym. And then I remember, them dominating for the next 2 years and winning 6 in a row against South Range. And then South Range coming back my senior year, second matchup of the season in Hanoverton, basically needing it to get a share of the ITCL and beating the Eagles in the Eagles nest. I mean, this was it. This was the rivalry. This was the big game, right? I know it doesn't carry the same amount of weight now. They're not in the same conference. They're not the same teams. Those teams were coached by Roger Ziegler for United, who was such a legend in the girls basketball coaching world and had such a just tremendous pressure defense that was suffocating to most teams. South Range was coached by Wayne Johnson back then. So obviously, couple of coaching rotations since. Actually, South Range has only had 2 new coaches since then because Matisse took over for Johnson and then Fishel took over for Matisse. So just the second coach rotation for South Range. But I think United, this might be like the fourth different coach they've had since Roger Ziegler left in 2012, I believe. I think Sam Matthews took over for him after that. But, blast of the past of this game, and that's going to be a little bit nostalgic for me. A little bit nostalgic to see United versus South Range rivalry renewed a little bit for my heart. Beaver Local and Edison going up against each other. You have Champion. They're traveling to Niles. You'll see the boys travel to Niles as well on Friday. So that's going to be a matchup that those two schools have on both sides of the basketball court. Columbiana, we're going to travel to Jackson Milton. You have Heartland Christian going to Liberty. Lowville goes to Campbell Memorial. Matthews tries to bounce back as they travel the Middle Ridge. Poland and Cheney both open the season as Poland travels to Youngstown. Pymatuning Valley is going to square off with Conneaut to open the year. And then last but not least, Salem travels to Cardinal Mooney tonight. So a full slate of girls basketball on the network. And one of the games that I kind of want to preview is going to be the one I'm going to be at, Crestview versus Springfield. This is going to be a battle of titans, I think. I mean, I think Crestview has, honestly, the talent. I know they're dealing with a few injuries right now, but from what I hear, most of those will be squared up by the end of the season. So I think the talent to make a deep tournament run, like I'm talking like Crestview could go into the regional and win a game or two in the regionals, maybe even go to Dayton. This team was young last year and talented. So you were able to see a couple of young freshman mistakes, especially in tournament time. But this year, not young anymore, very experienced. They return Addison Rhodes as a sophomore, 1 year under her belt. Lafraine Gaskins, a very good basketball team, very solid, very talented. But then Springfield comes in. They're experienced. They got to state last year. I know there's a lot of turnover from last season. They don't have J.C. Mullen anymore. They don't have Madison Lesnack anymore. But I saw on Wednesday against Hubbard that Jamaica Brungard is a problem. She is a problem, a matchup problem down low. I'm excited to see her versus Gaskins, right? They're the two really good post players. Rhodes is going to be in there too, probably, with the height that she brings to the table. That's going to be a great matchup. I think Springfield's guards are going to have to step up a little bit, score a little bit more. I know Mariana Toscano can definitely shoot it when she finds a rhythm. I think she's going to have to knock down some shots. I think Ava Vecchione is going to have to get some easy offense with steals and fast breaks. I think the Post are gonna kind of equalize themselves a little bit. They're both such good matchup problems, so those will even out each other. This is gonna come down to who has the guards that show up better. This is gonna be in the jungle at Springfield. One game down for the Tigers, first game of the year for Crestview. Will that play a little bit of a factor? Well, the fact that Springfield has already seen live against the team some problems that they might have and some things they can fix, while Crestview's had to deal with just scrimmages, where scrimmages are good, but they don't compare to seeing your team live in a regular season matchup. So will that play a factor? This is going to be a good one, Crestview versus Springfield. Last year, it was a matchup that happened around the same time of the year. Coach Matisse feels like Springfield did not play well, maybe one of their worst games of the season. They're hungry to do it here at home this time and have a little bit of a rematch with the Rebels. I'm excited for this one. I'm excited for East Liverpool Southern. East Liverpool got the win on Saturday over Toronto, and they had some scoring. They had some serious scores. You had Kinsey Walker knock down 5 3-pointers on her way to 19. Reagan Edwards was also in double figures. You thought East Liverpool was coming into the season going to really try to rely on their defense and be one of those teams that slops up a game, makes it kind of sloppy and makes it a low scoring affair. But man, East Liverpool, at least on Saturday, having players that can score, they're going to need it because Southern Local has Ashley Schroeds, who can absolutely score and do a lot of damage with her ability down there. We've seen her drop 50 plus in one game in her career. That was back in her freshman season. So we know that she can score, but East Liverpool is showing some scoring capability against Toronto on Saturday. So this one could be a very fun one down in Salineville in the Wigwam. Gerard and LeBray should be very interesting. Gerard, brand new coach, very fast, but very green. LeBray looked very good in their first game of the year. So I'm interested in this one in Leavittsburg. Another one that I think could be very fun to watch is I just had it. Oh, Salem and Mooney. Can Salem score the way they did against Howland? Obviously, Riley Hutton had a day, 34 points. Mooney struggled, but they played a very, very good West Branch team. So it doesn't get any easier for Mooney, but at the same time, home opener, I think this one will be a lot closer than the first game scores would indicate. I think if you see Mooney's first game score and you see that what they did against West Branch, and you obviously see the offensive success that Salem had against Howland, you might think this will be a runaway, but I don't think so. I don't think so. I think this one will be close. I really do. So there's some games I'm watching out for. Let's call out the announcers and see who will be where tonight before we get out of here for the day. We will have a total of 9 games on the network tonight. From Alliance in Canfield, Ty Bartell will be on the call with Brandon Colangelo. Ian O'Brien will be in Niles as champion comes to town, so that one will be covered for you. Crestview at Springfield, I will be in the jungle for that one. Gary Burton and Scott Rogers are going to be in Southern for East Liverpool at Southern. Matt Marr and Jordan Barber are going to be at LeBray for Gerard and LeBray. You have Sam Ballast and Jake Nicholas in Jefferson traveling with Lakeview. Like, they're going to be a lot. So if you're Lakeview and you like those two on the broadcast, they're going to be traveling with your team quite a lot this year. You have Steve Hodge going to Camel to cover Louisville and Camel Memorial. You'll have Eric Hughes on the call at Mooney for Salem at Mooney. And then Chris Sigler will be on the call for United at South Range. Other games going on, obviously, Beaver Local at Edison, Columbiana at Jackson Milton, Matthews at Middle Ridge, Poland at Cheney, and Pymatuning Valley at Conneaut are the other games that are going on. So those are your games on the network. ysnlive.com/live is where you can find them. Please tune in to as many as you can and enjoy the night. We'll be back tomorrow to recap all that action and preview another day of basketball on Running Point, which is always brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. Thank you.